John Roberts, joined by Senator Marsha Blackburn from Tennessee. So you heard the president-elect there, Madam Senator, saying that this is just basically a down payment on what's to come. You voted against this bill. What were the reasons for voting against it? And what do you foresee coming down the track in 2021?
John, I have to tell you, this was a behemoth of a bill. $2.4 trillion, 5,600 pages, and members were given about 6 hours that they could look through this before the vote was called. And whether it is the process or the product that we're looking at, this is a bill that gives direct cash payments to individuals, puts us on that path toward a guaranteed minimum income, which Bernie Sanders has been such an advocate for. It also puts those direct cash payments in place for illegal aliens in the country, as well as letting them get retroactive payments from the CARES Act. It does Pell Grants for those that are in prison. There are new categories of H-2B visas. There is money. You've got $170 million that is in there for programs that are in other countries, $50 million for education programs in Egypt and Malawi. You've got gender studies money for Pakistan. Listen, we have a pandemic. People are hurting. They need to be the center and the focus of this. Small businesses should be the focus of this. And we have money going for arts and for foreign aid, things that have absolutely nothing to do with recovering from the pandemic. And that's the reason to not support this bill.
Yeah. There are also lower penalties for transportation of water hyacinths, 2 new Smithsonian museums, how to determine a successor to the Dalai Lama in Tibet, decriminalization of the use of the Swiss coat of arms. I mean, they really Christmas treed this thing up. One of the things they did, too, was they threw at you 5,600 pages of text and gave you 2 hours to read it before you voted on it. That puts you, Ted Cruz, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in the same boat in terms of opposing it. Ted Cruz writing, quote, AOC is right. It's absurd to have a $2.5 trillion spending bill negotiated in secret, then hours later demand an up or down vote on a bill nobody has had time to read. Rather than going backwards, as the process we just went through, let's look ahead, because as Joe Biden said, there's more of this coming down the pike in 2021. What can you do to ensure that the process next time is different and that we don't go in the hole for another $3 trillion?
One of the things that we need to be certain we do is to win these 2 Senate races in Georgia. You have already seen the Democrats say, look, we're putting in place our pathway to a Green New Deal, our pathway to expanding big government, our pathway to easing immigration policies. So, John, what we have to do is make certain that we hold these, because that's how you're going to have checks and balances with a divided government. And you have heard Chuck Schumer and the Democrats say time and again, we want to go take Georgia, and then we want to change the country. And more freedom, more liberty, more opportunity is not their idea of how they want to change the country. They want to grow government, expand government. Raphael Warnock, who has praised Marxism, he would be the first Marxist senator for in the U.S. Senate.
Senator, if I could just for a moment, just because we have only about 30 seconds left, I wanted to ask you something else. Clearly, the Georgia runoffs are very, very important. Something that's going to happen the day after that, on January the 6th, is the certification of the electors who cast their vote back on December the 11th. And it looks like the president is going to have a number of at least House members stand up and oppose the seating of those electors. Where do you come down on that? And do you believe that Joe Biden is the president-elect?
One of the things that we're continuing to do is look at the information as it comes to us. And John, of course, we all realize if you want to change and challenge these votes, that is something at the state level that is going to have to be done. These state legislatures are going to have to step up and take the responsibility for changing the law. This is why we have our local governments implement, our state governments, according to the Constitution, are the ones that set the time, the place, and the manner of these elections.
Well, we
are continuing to review.
We've certainly got a lot ahead of us in the weeks to come.
Yes.
Senator Marsha Blackburn, great to see you. Merry Christmas. You'll be spending it in one of the most beautiful parts of the world that I know. So happy Christmas to you and your family.